How could it happen? I mean, the wildfires, I heard in the news also, as much as you heard it. So many big mansions are burnt down. So, some people, I heard some mansions cost about 12 million US dollars. About 25 of them are reported to have been totally burned down. Look at the mind of those people who owned it. Some of them worked so hard when they were young, they were actors, they got fame, they got some fortune, and they wanted to live a retired life without working. So they invested in these beautiful mansions that cost over 12 million US dollars on that campus in Los Angeles. And suddenly the fire came, the wildfires just burnt it down. How do you handle such a situation? And I heard one man, he's so broke after the burning down of his mansion that he went back to live in his ex-wife's house because there's no other respite he has. How to handle, how to reconcile with this feeling, the sentiment of severe loss, and they have a bleak future ahead because they have lost major part of their fortune. Yes, many people have their houses standing, there are survivors too, but yet how do you handle these losses? So where do you put your reliance? Where do you rely in your good times when you earn a lot of wealth? Where is your reliance? What are you depending on that will take care of you in the future? Some of the houses does not have any insurance policies. It's not covered by insurance. Many of them did not give the last premium, like 3 months back, 6 months back when they should have given the premium. They failed to do that. So the insurance is not covering this loss. So many things happens out of disruption. The word here is disruption. How do you handle it? How much ever you depend on your assets to take care of you, yet a disruption can wipe away the assets. Sunita Williams in the space, with all the technology, with all the intelligence, with all the checks and balances, rehearsals, training, yet an accident happened. She went there for 2 weeks and now it's more than 3 months in space. Yeah, the same Sunita Williams. The last 15 days, over 5 aircrafts have crashed. Various parts of the world. How did it happen? In spite of such scrutiny, I think the largest, if possible, Sigma. It's not an aviation industry, medical industry. These are not 7 Sigma, 8 Sigma, 9 Sigma industry. That only perhaps no accident can happen even in 1 million operation. Yet it is happening. So where does this disruption come from? It could be inside your house of disputes, conflict. For no reason, people begin to get angry, confrontations, wars. Where does this disruption come from? How does it disrupt? So, but we are attempting to eliminate disruptions. We want to sustain that what we have. We want permanence of that what we have. We want continuity of that what we want. We want consistency in one behavior of everything. But then suddenly a disruption comes from where? So when the disruption comes, how to handle it? But before the disruption, how much our energy, our talent, our skills, our effort, our labor output, our intelligence, where are you depositing all this to generate another thing with the hope of that it will take care of you? You want to generate a sense of permanence and you want to generate, where do you work? Where do you labor? You want to we deposit all our effort, exertion, labor, all this into a place. We deposit into a place, an entity. We deposit into an entity. We depend overtly on that entity. We rely only on that entity, and that gets disrupted. It is vulnerable to be reversed. That the rich man can become a poor man. So now the question is, where should you be putting out your effort to? Where should you deposit the results of your effort, exertion, labor, talent, skill, intelligence, education, hope? Where should you be depositing it? Because in all these things that you are acquiring, accumulating, it's all vulnerable to be disrupted and reversed. So isn't it a thought-provoking thing? Where is really something that is a position where that what you deposit is not vulnerable to be disrupted. Where, because isn't that intelligence? Does it make economic intelligence that you work, you earn, and you deposit? You depend on something that is not vulnerable to be disrupted. And conversely speaking, when the disruption is inevitable, when anyway, any which way, all your assets and all that what you relied on, depended on for your security, safety, when it's all collapsed, then how do you handle your mind? What is the respite you have? Where should you relent to? Isn't it thought provoking? Because then, in wisdom, you should start now. You should start now constructing a structure in through meditations, through wisdom of the mind, through breathing techniques, through other activity that is self growth, self development. That is where, if we perhaps deposit our energy, time, labor, education too, then perhaps that is a reconciliation. When the collapse happens, how do you survive? How do you outlive the collapses of your assets? How do you circumvent and be happy when everything that you depended on, that what you relied on, all collapses? And there, all of those things that you are perhaps constructing for your old age or for you as your safety net, is that vulnerable to be disrupted sometime by some possibility? I do not know where this disruption comes from. How much ever we attempt to immunize ourselves from any kind of disruptions, whether it is that aerial secure dome of Israel that was breached by the Hamas. Somehow everything that is that you have constructed as your safety, security is dented, is breached through a disruption. So disruption is going to stay, and then the question is, where are you currently depositing your energy, output, labor, everything as your insurance, as your something that you rely on overtly, too much reliance and dependency on that entity that can collapse anytime. So when it collapses, question number, when it collapses, how will you outlive the pain? Question number two is, where should you be depositing the gains, the profits that you make? Where should you be really spending your time and energy to learn? I would think about the wisdom of the mind. Spend time, energy, education by breathing techniques. How does the breath work? How does the mind work? What is the behavior and characteristics of your intellect, of your assessment, rating, ranking, grading, of your systems of whatever that sustains you and whatever that disrupts you? So be meditative, learn meditation, enjoy meditation, rely on yourself, and increase your dependency on your mental hygiene and mental health.